recording and see how this works out. Okay, we should be recording, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Sweetness.
hopefully.
Oh dear goodness.
Okay, so hello everybody and welcome to my channel. We're doing this video with Zach from Yo Bro Nation. Basically, we were wanting to do a video to honor Stan Lee because he passed away today. We kind of wanted to do just a little retrospective of his work and basically kind of give our thoughts on his passing and how it'll affect the MCU and everything. So, I guess first question, Zach, is what brought you to liking Stan Lee in the first place? Like, was it the movies? Was it comics?
Comics easily. You look back at his Jack, his runs with Jack Kirby, creating the Fantastic Four, creating the X-Men. That was all him. Pretty much, he's the godfather of the MCU and Marvel in general. I wasn't super familiar with it, but I started watching a YouTube channel, Collider Video, and there was a guy in there named John Schnepp. Totally recommend anyone to go back and watch Schnepp. He was like a guru of comic books. Anything nerdy, he's a guru of. So, so then I started watching the movies. Stan Lee's been in every Marvel movie ever created. He's the link between everything. So I guess basically, just the fact that the old man is as old as he is, or was as old as he was, and still had the energy and everything, and how much he created that most people aren't even aware of is just amazing to me. I think that's what drew me to him to begin with.
Yeah, he was 95 this year,
Wow.
so he lived a very long life. And just some of the, iconic characters that he, created. Of course, you have Spider-Man. You have, the Hulk. You have, all these are thoughts out of his head,
The first family, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
When it started
it's amazing to the amount of stuff. And, I love the fact, I love one of the things that they did with the movies is because they introduced Stan Lee to a whole new generation. Several generations. He's been in every MCU movie from the first Iron Man all the way up to, the latest movie that they did.
Mm-hmm. And he's even in the Fox films.
Yeah, and that's something too. That's saying something when different studios were willing to honor him by putting them in the films, or putting him in the film, even though like for instance, like you said, he's in the Fox films, but he's not even those aren't MCU films. But they it's
the respect. It's the respect that everyone had for him.
Right. And I'm hoping that they had his stuff completed for some of the other films that are coming out for the MCU.
I know they've shot, I don't know how it will be, but I know he's shot a scene for the Avengers 4 movie.
Right.
He's done that. So it's sad because I don't know if you were keeping track, but the last several months of his life spent, with people fighting over his estate before he was even dead.
Right.
And people trying to force him into doing things or signing things that he's not aware of. It was a sad situation what was going on with him prior to his death anyways. So, it's kind of a bittersweet thing that he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Yet we lost literally an icon. People cried when Hugh Hefner passed away, but this is so much bigger.
Yeah. And speaking of, if you can even put up the whole thing that Stan Lee actually played Hugh Hefner for one of the films where he actually portrayed the similar character and stuff,
That's true. I forgot all about
which is
that.
kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, and like to me as a comic book fan, like without Stan Lee, there's so many comics that would not be like even ones that he didn't have a hand in per se. Like he inspired so many people in the comic world that it's like I feel like if there isn't a comic book Hall of Fame, like he should be the first inductee if they started one. Just because it's like I said, he is one of the few people that has inspired people both DC and Marvel with their character creations and their artistic like designs, everything.
I mean, I don't even know how to. I mean, I just literally maybe 20 minutes before we started shooting, I found out about this. And there's like such an outpouring on Twitter and Facebook about this. I mean, it has an impact not just on geekdom communities, but the movie community. I mean, anywhere you look, like even in the wrestling community, a lot. I follow a lot of guys who are in the wrestling business, and they're coming out and saying stuff about Stan Lee. That's how far of a reach this guy had with people. That it's not just, oh, well, you read comics, you'll know who he is. Like, everyone knows who this man was.
Right. Well, and that's what I was getting to was the fact that they allowed him to play a role in every movie, so that he was like I when I posted a thing on Facebook. I said that it's sad. I felt sad that we lost a legend and a pop culture icon because I mean he was a pop culture icon. Like anybody, even people that have never read a comic book in their life but have seen the movies, they'll be like, oh look, that's Stan Lee in his comic or like in his movies. He's one of the few characters that and few people that I would liken his celebrity to being like Hulk Hogan's. Like people, tying it into wrestling, people that aren't wrestling fans, you mention the name Hulk Hogan, they know who he is. Stan Lee's the same way. You can not know anything about comics and mention the word Stan Lee, and people are like, "Oh yeah, well we know exactly who you're talking about."
Right. It's sad. That's all I really honestly I know what to say is it's sad because he was one of those guys who you thought would never die because he's just and he didn't look his age at all.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, he was just one of those that you're just like literally shocked to hear it. Like at first I thought it was a joke. I was like, well, that's a nasty joke. And then I started seeing more threads coming through. I was like, oh, okay, this actually happened.
Oh yeah, that's like I double check and triple check to make sure because everybody has to do those stupid celebrity death hoax, and it's like when you actually lose a pop icon like that, it's so devastating to everything. But yeah, like I said, I just want to do this quick video. It's only going to be like a 10-minute video, whatever. But I just want to do this video to kind of, for us to pay respect to Stan Lee and to his legacy. And, again, it's really sad that we lost, this person.
Right.
But yeah, so, much respect to him. His family is going to be in our thoughts and stuff. Other than that, I mean, I know Yobro Nation is planning on doing a video on him as well. You were saying,
yeah, we're going to be doing one.
So, folks, if you want to see more of Zach's, thoughts and everything on Stan Lee and possibly mine. I may join him on there. I don't know yet. We'll see how that goes. Or if you want to see any of his other videos, he does a lot of movie reviews and everything. Just go check out his face or his YouTube. Definitely keep checking out my YouTube. And again, everybody just kind of pay your respects to Stan Lee.
Exactly.
And thank you all for watching.